Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We got a special report for you today. Moments ago, I received an incredible video from Montevideo, the capital of Uruguay. A citizen there was driving in his pickup truck. He looked up into the night sky and noticed something massive. He began to proceed and pull out his cell phone, and he captured one of the most incredible videos of a mothership that I've seen in a long time.
Un poco el foco. Cambia de colores. De todos los colores. Esto solamente se ve a través de el parabrisas de la camioneta. Estoy adentro de la camioneta y filmándolo a través de...
Is it a mothership? Is it something extraterrestrial in origin? Or is this some kind of secret Space Force program? This is an incredible sighting that's going on right now, and I'm so happy to share this with you. It's incredible, and we've got the whole entire panel with us tonight, including 1028 Productions, Doc Skinner, and Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live, including Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal, and Goof On. This is going to be an incredible sighting that we're going to be going over, and my twin brother Brent is going to be chiming in as well. He's on assignment, so we'll be getting to him in just a moment. But let's start it off with Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions. Doc, what's your thoughts?
Just another amazing video sent into Third Phase of Moon. That's all I got to say about this one. It is pretty cool. We see what looks like a mothership over the city, and we're able to see through what look like possibly windows. The windows are long, like what a Tic Tac would look like, but it's just the light. I'm just talking about the shape. And I've been having it on loop right here. I'm just watching it over and over again. What possibilities? Could it be, a mothership? Could it be a cigar ship? And these are port windows, and it's lit up from the inside. The fact that it's not moving, you can tell from the moon flare that you see in the camera, which is, I've been told, is being filmed through outside the window of a truck. The way the lights look, here's my thought on a comparison to where I've seen something like this before. Now, I've seen two videos in my life. One was debunked. The other one still hasn't, to my knowledge. And it had windows opening, or windows like this, and you saw a human figure, or shape figure, human shape figure. That was like early 2000s, maybe in the 90s, as far back as that possibly. Now, the way that these lights are set up, it makes me think of a yacht, and you have those long curvature cutouts along the walkways around the yacht, and if only they were lit up, it would glow in this pattern, and maybe your front lights. But I don't think this is at sea. Could it be a series of homes at the top of a mountain that we can't see the outline of? I don't think so, because if it did, the moon flare wouldn't be under it. So we have to eliminate that possibility. So it is something that's in the sky. Now, it's being filmed in the truck, from inside of the truck. Now, could it be a reflection on a window of something behind them? I'm not sure, but it's pretty cool. It's just sitting there. And I've had it on the loop. I can't stop watching it. It's really cool.
Appreciate it, Doc. I think your insight is incredible, and what we're looking at is absolutely insane. Just to give you a heads up, we've reached out to the government of Uruguay to see if they have any answers in regards to this incredible phenomenon that just happened over the capital city. I'm so happy that we're looking at this video and we have this panel that's going over it. So let's get it on to Rich from Goof On. Goof On, what do you make of this incredible video?
I mean, anything that comes from this part of the world usually seems big, right? It's always like a mothership. And I don't know if that's because of the region or whatnot, but when I look at this sighting, I see a couple of things. And one of them is exciting and the other one not so exciting. So it looks like this person is recording an object in the distance, and it looks huge. You can see 2 rows of lights, and then it looks like it may curve around and you see 3 other lights. So you see 1 row and then another row underneath it of elongated, what looks like lights, could be windows with, lights from the inside of this craft. It would be very huge. It does not seem to be moving, even though we only have, 20 seconds here of video. There's not much to go on other than what we see here. Now, it seems like the guy is outside, but we don't have any proof of that. We don't have a lot to go on, like I was saying, a lot of black background. When the video first starts, we can see it's in the distance, it looks like, and I don't know what light source that is that's orange, that's way out there. Is that the sun going down? Is this a light, a flare? I don't know what that is. That orange light. He doesn't focus on it. It looks like nighttime, but I'm not so sure we're looking at a reflection in a window from somebody's apartment. And I don't know what that orange light is. I'm thinking that's the moon. It looks like maybe, yeah, that's what it is. It's a full moon. So when you look at the video, you don't see this thing moving. I think I'm going to go with my gut that I think it's just a reflection. I mean, I could be wrong, but this doesn't move. It has reflection qualities. And that's all I can say about it, guys. I don't know. It's always a mystery. We never know because we're not there. So I don't know for 100%, but I'm 70-30, maybe 80-20 that this is a reflection.
Appreciate it, Rich. This is an incredible breakdown that we're going over, and right now we need to get some answers. This is something that is massive, and if you're watching this right now on the slide premiere, I appreciate if you copy paste this link and share it on your social media like Facebook, Twitter. Tell them something big is happening over Uruguay and you watched it right here at Third Phase of Moon. Now let's take it out to Dr. J. He's in Los Angeles. Dr. J, what's your thoughts on this incredible sighting?
Now, what do we have here? Apparently a mothership caught in South America. Now, of course, this looks like it's one giant craft because the lights are traveling in unison. Obviously, if we could capture this during the daytime, we would see what's in between the lights, but it appears there is some sort of structure. Now, what is going on globally? I've said this multiple times here on Third Phase of the Moon, as well as my own show, Dr. J Radio Live, that we are, in fact, being invaded. Now, whether it is because we have more cameras out there and we have the ability to capture more than ever before, or because of this countdown to disclosure clock that has been going on, maybe they're trying to prime us for something. We heard Director Ratcliffe say, former Director of National Intelligence Ratcliffe say that these technologies cannot be reproduced here on Earth that we know of. So I'd be very surprised to know that, hey, there is some faction in the deep state military, not private military corporation, that is in fact using this type of craft. But again, I say this argument so many times. If it is ours, why would you test it over populated cities? You wouldn't. You would test it over the ocean, over, say, Groom Lake, or other. There's hundreds or millions of acres of land that, aside from satellites and some radar, are pretty barren and open and not viewed by the public eye. I think this is one of the greater videos, as everything that comes out from South Africa, or South America, sorry about that. But again, let's find out what it is. I'm kind of hoping someone out there says, hey, look, this is our TR-3B. These are human pilots flying it. Or is it something else? And what's it going to take for us to get to that answer?
Appreciate it, Dr. J. Yes, this is something that is motherly in nature, like a mothership. Something big Is this maybe something that is a sign of the times? They're not hiding anymore, some of these ships. They're out there. More people in the capital of Uruguay must have witnessed this. Hopefully we get some more videos and updates. Now, let's take it out to Brent. Brent, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Blake. Definitely interesting capture here. I'm glad the whole panel's going over it tonight. Goofon brought something up too, and I was kind of leaning towards that as well. Could this just be a reflection off the glass? Some light inside the cabin of his truck. I'm kind of looking at the camera movement, and as he pulls in to focus on whatever this craft is, if that's the case, you could see that the camera's not going out of focus. So I'm still kind of leaning that this might not be a reflection. Again, we're reaching out to anybody in that area. If they captured this and saw this huge sighting over the city, why not just share it right now with Third Phase of Moon? I would expect there to be hundreds of videos of this subject that we're looking at right now that should have been posted on their internet, Facebook, everywhere. So I'm still kind of leaning both ways on this. What is this, and why is there only one video of this UFO mothership over Uruguay? Then again, you got to admit, this guy who's filming it, he seems rather genuine. He's not kind of trying to exaggerate the sighting. He's just kind of playing it out in real time, kind of explaining what he's seen at the time. And
arriba de Montevideo. Voy a ampliarle un poco el foco. Cambia de colores. De todos los colores.
then again, you got to give it to the people out there. When they're filming something, I don't think most of the people are trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. They're just trying to capture something that captured their attention. So let's see what comes up with this video. I expect we're going to see more coming up.
Appreciate it, Brent. Absolutely. This is something that has some major implications behind it. Is it otherworldly? Why over Uruguay? Is this some kind of massive experimental craft that we're not aware of? It is a massive thing to behold. This is what Third Phase of Moon's all about. Getting information, bringing it to you as fast as possible. Now let's take it out to Dark Hour Paranormal. Michael, what's your thoughts?
Alright, to say that this clip is interesting would certainly undersell it. There's a very clear image of something in the sky that we just don't know what it is. Now, when I reviewed this clip, it's really interesting to note that initially we see one light, which I believe is at the back of the craft, from the distance that the cameraman is, again, initially shooting. There is a street light of sort in the foreground, which is nice for perspective, but it's drowning out whatever illumination that the craft is giving off as a total. That being said, I thought it was interesting that the cameraman who was taking this didn't seem to have too much of an intense reaction while filming. Now, of course, we understand that everybody will react differently to certain events, but it was just a curious note. Now, in looking at this particular object, one thing that we can see very clearly is that it has multiple windows or illuminated spots which appear to be windows. Could this be some sort of aerial convoy? And is it ours? I mean, these are the questions that we're asking. Of course, the question of manipulation will come up as well. And although I don't see any predominant signs of photoshopping, it's always a possibility. But in this case, I'm going to have to go with my gut and say that this was actually something in the sky that this person had captured. Now, the video is short and we don't have much to go on, but the fact that he had the cognizance to zoom up on the object to give us a clearer picture of what we were seeing was absolutely genius. Now, that being said too, could this be a mirage from the city lights below? Or some sort of atmospheric disturbance creating the illusion? Again, all possibilities are there, but I think we're seeing something solid. It's odd the way that the craft is shaped. One could perhaps come to the idea that it might be something cigar-shaped or familiar, at least in regard to sightings. But, you know, I have to say that we don't get a total picture of it, and it's really only an idea or a guess to, again, look at the shape.
Just earlier today, I received an email, permission granted to share with you the world in regards to an incredible sighting. Why don't you guys take a look at this right now? All right, we're looking at this incredible video and we're going to be going over in detail in regards to some of the phenomena that we're witnessing in regards to these lights in the sky. What could they be? Some people might even speculate that these are parachuters with pyrotechs, but after you look at the video a little closer, you can tell that this fiery objects, whatever they are way too large to be parachuters with simple pyrotechs. And some people also might speculate that they could be military flares, but in comparison to what military flares look like, what you're looking at right now, it doesn't leave any kind of indication of a smoke trail. These lights are individual, they're very bright, they change in colors and dynamics, and at one point in the video you can almost make out a craft, a black flying saucer, the light in between, and this black silhouette. Is this the ship itself? Is it being revealed? Is there some kind of cloaking that we're looking at that is giving some kind of illusion? Something that resembles maybe the Predator. It's not a full cloak, but it almost reveals a craft in itself, massive in size. You can see it as it passes down through the clouds, then it disappears, but then it reappears as it traverses lower beneath the cloud line, and you could reveal and see this black silhouette. What could this be? It's amazing footage. We have the panel with us today who's going over it. Rich from GoofOn and Dark Hour Paranormal. We also got Alex Gershowitz on the team chiming in. Let's start it off with Rich. Rich, what's your thoughts?
Well, we got a really good sighting here. Something that, you know, us ufologists just dream about. I know that a couple of you are immediately going to say it's skydivers or drones, but you have to look at this a little bit closer because these lights aren't doing the regular routine of skydivers or drones. This is something that I can't think of anything that it reminds me of. It's not parachutes, it's not flares. I don't see the drone. There's a lot of little things in this video that are real interesting to me, whether they're a camera anomaly or not. We do kind of see a disc shape, almost like a donut, around these lights. And there are some times when you record a bright light with a darker background that you will get two little black anomalies on the right and the left of the bright object. But in this case, you see what looks like a donut. And it happens when it's in front of the clouds, it happens when it's away from the clouds, and it doesn't happen all the time, but you could definitely see this black anomaly. Now, I'm pretty sure it probably is an anomaly of the camera with the bright light and the darker background, but we also see the lights change color. The one on top, you'll see it turns red at one point, almost like a fire red. And then the other one turns white, and then you have this other one that stays on the bottom. It stays like a goldenish. It reminds me of what the Phoenix lights would look like if they were moving around. And the reason I don't think it's parachuters or, you know, those guys with the boots that smoke and everything, you don't see smoke. There was no plane in the area that we could see, and you don't hear anything. Now, I don't know exactly how far away we are from the lights, but they do tend to hover in certain areas. Not only that, you even see the lights, it's just my opinion, it looks like they're taking off and then they pop up again. The light gets smaller and smaller and smaller until it's gone. And it looks like they're taking off and then they appear again. It's a unique sighting. I have to give this guy credit. He doesn't know what it is. He named it UFOs, I guess. So if you know what this is, be my guest and explain it to me. I don't know how it can be flares. I know what it isn't. Not the normal. Could we be Seeing drone technology, I would think so, but when the lights do disappear, right, they get smaller. It's not that they're dimming out. Dimming out is a lot different than leaving the area and shrinking. Yeah, I think these are real UFOs. Back engineered craft, maybe we have them and we're just testing them. They all do tend to go to the ground, but not all of them make it. Some of them just disappear and you never see them again. I say some of them because I think there's more than 3. It seems like either there's 3 and they're just, you know, jumping in and out and it looks like more. But at one time it looks like one of these lights splits into 2 or even 3. It's really interesting. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's skydivers with the fancy boots and the smoke. I don't think it's flares. We don't see any smoke. We don't see any gondola or parachute. I don't see any parachute, so it's not a parachutist. Could it be drones? I don't know. I don't think so. It's true, unidentified objects. Are they meta propulsion craft? Probably. But this is really good. I'm really happy that we had this one to talk about.
Interesting insight there, Rich. Now let's take it out to Michael from Dark Hour. Michael, what's your thoughts on this video that you just witnessed moments ago?
This is awesome. All right, this is really cool. We're looking in this video at 4 bright objects that eventually break into 3 definitive ones that eventually divide again as the video progresses. Now, one appears brighter, perhaps in flames at a certain point, but there seems to be some sort of plasma splashing out and dissipating. Is that what we're actually witnessing? Many times we see throughout this video clip some sort of wave of what appears to be fire or sparks coming out, and again it has this sort of fluid character about it, which again reminds me of what plasma might look like. Now, when they open the video up here, they do form a triangular figure, okay, before dividing off and splitting on their own ways, but when they do this, we see one disappear completely. In another instance, you can see the darkened or muted outline while the light itself is not present. If they are using cloaking, I assume it isn't perfect, and that depending on the angle and environmental light refraction, you may still be able to see an outline of sort. If it is cloaking, the light is either extinguished or it is cloaked as well, which in my opinion doesn't seem to be a very easy thing to do even if you have the ability to cloak certain materials. The objects seem to be trading luminosity at certain points. Is there some science within their flight formations wherein they may be exchanging energy or creating a field between the craft? I understand that's purely a speculative thought, but we are seeing some strange activity in the way of, again, the luminosity between the crafts and sometimes when they're in the figures that they are. Now, if these were flares, I don't see any reason they would be a light and then go out, only to relight once again as the video goes through. They also wouldn't be stationary and have intelligent movement, again, the way that we see these objects. They also wouldn't be dividing. I've never seen a flare or any sort of lamp divide, again, the way these objects do. And just to top it off, at one point we see one of these objects start glowing bright red, which encompasses this craft, and as it goes out, watches the other 2 that are left, as we have 3 in the end, that seem to land on the ground or go out shortly before doing just that. What is this? Fascinating, to say the very least.
Let me know your thoughts, Alex.
Hi, Blake. So this is a very interesting video. I like the video for a bunch of reasons. The first one is that I think it's shot right next to a airport. Could be a military airport, but I think that you can see an airport tower in the first couple of frames. It's also surrounded by what seems to be a barbed wire fence, so it's got at least some possibilities of that. But the vehicles are stationary. There seems to be a bunch of stop signs in front of it. It may be the end of a road, or the road by an airport runway, or whatever that is. Anyway, what you see is a bunch of lights coming down, and there are as many as 5 or 6 and as little as 3 or 4, maybe 5. There's 5 or 6 lights out there, and what you see is them coming down in a relatively downward slope. You don't see any of them moving up. They seem to be falling at a constant rate. But they do combine and separate, which is very, very interesting. It's almost as though they had the ability to turn the lights off and on, come close to each other, maybe, you know, stay next to each other. But they do continue on a downward slope, and that's interesting. Nothing ascends. At first I thought they could be flares, although flares would have smoke coming out of them. These don't have any smoke. It's not inconceivable that the armed forces have a smokeless flare, but why would you have a smokeless flare? At any rate, these things seem to be coming down in an S-shape downward slope, which basically resembles skydivers. So what I think these are is military skydivers on maneuvers landing at a military airfield. They are probably wearing some sort of light devices that you can turn on and off and vary the colors for whatever signaling reasons they have. I've seen videos of people coming out of airplanes with lights on their helmets and things over here that they sort of vary. Military guys. At any rate, that's what I believe it is. And furthermore, when they land, if you see the first one that lands, he lands really close to something that looks like a building, and it's a one-story building, and you can sort of get relative size of this light object to the building, and I think it's a person. At any rate, I think these are military skydivers.
All right, so we decided to get some real close-ups of what this really is, and we're zooming in and we're getting a clear picture. I obviously think we're looking at something that's actually a craft, something huge. You'd notice this large body, this volume of something within the light. It kind of expands outside of the light. You see it almost like disc-like, which is very unique. We've never seen anything like this in the sky to really compare it to. Some people might say this is kind of an artifact in the lens, a sensor, that this light is particularly so bright it's kind of making a dark shadow around it, some sort of like an anomaly in the camera. I really don't think this is the case. I'm thinking we're looking at something huge. It looks almost like a flying saucer when you kind of get this detail, this close-up picture of it. It's fascinating.
It's absolutely an incredible sighting, and again, I have to rule out military flares just to the fact that there's no indicator of smoke trails behind it, and the way they descend and then pause and then rapidly descend again, it's kind of uncharacteristic of some kind of parachute holding up a military flare. So what is it, guys? I want to get your comments in the comments below, and the live premiere that we're doing right now. I also wanted to do a follow-up in regards to a sighting that we shared with you just within the past 24 hours out of Wichita of what looks to be some kind of tic-tac in the sky captured in broad daylight. What's very strange is the day after we posted this video, there was another breaking news in Wichita.
Social media in Wichita this afternoon went crazy with speculation over something they saw in the sky.
As some are sure it was a UFO, while others say there's a perfectly normal explanation.
Hundreds of Wichita residents shocked by this sight Thursday, saying they saw what appeared to be a UFO. Videos like this one recorded by Wichita resident Mike Marler quickly circling social media.
I'm driving back to work, coming over from lunch, and I noticed something in the sky really bright. It was surprising because I mean, we live in Wichita, we see airplanes all the time, we're right by the airport, but it was definitely different.
That's right, a new incredible sighting. Within 24 hours of us posting this video, there's been another sighting in Wichita. Could it be related? What's interesting is the video that we shared with you yesterday was over a year old, but now it has returned and it has made the headlines in Wichita. Has it returned to this general area? Is there some kind of military base practicing with reverse engineered craft? Is this what it possibly could be?
It's strange that in Wichita this event happened twice within a year, and we broke the news just a couple days ago, and now it's breaking Wichita headline news over there that the town experienced this amazing craft. It looks like kind of a flying tic tac, some sort of dish-shaped kind of object. It's very bright, and the people on the ground said it moved with incredible speed. So what's going on here? This, in my opinion, is not some sort of banner, an Arby's banner, as some people claimed. It looked like most of the people that witnessed this actually say it's not that. It's something that they never seen before, and they're aware of what's in the skies, and they're witnessing something that's fascinating, and it's unbelievable footage. We at Third Phase of Moon, we've got UFO videos coming in every day, and we're sharing it with you. Let's just roll this, take it out to Brent. He's got some information and a new UFO video. That's right, Blake. Seems like UFOs are on the rise around the world, and this just came in from Victoria, Australia. Let's roll it. This was captured by David McLean. While he was driving his truck, he managed to pull out his camera and film a UFO. What is this orb in the sky? People may speculate that this could be a drone or a helicopter. We hear no rotor blades from a helicopter itself. Could the truck be making so much noise that we can't hear it? That's a possibility. But whatever this orb is, it's fascinating. What makes this UFO sighting legitimate, in my opinion, is we don't see no FAA lights. Could this be a possible energy orb? We don't know what actually was captured over the night skies in Australia, but maybe other people out there notice the same thing. Send those videos to us. Brent, thanks for the report. Now take it out to Arizona. Doc Skinner's got another UFO sighting for us. Doc, what do you got?
So checking out this video from London, I'd be honest with you, when I first saw it, I was like, yay, another dot UFO. But luckily, this guy zoomed in on this object.
How bright it is on the camera as well.
That's what I'm saying. To me, that looks like the sky is too big.
Yeah. Oh, now the trees are in the way. And sometimes you can see more on the camera. What is that? That is not a star.
Exactly.
That is not a star.
Is that another moon?
I don't know what that is.
Because I was looking at it and I'm looking and thinking that don't look like no star. It looks, wow, it looks almost circular like another moon. Are you filming?
Yeah. Who would have thought I'd catch something like this?
There's a reason for everything that they say.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
It could be another planet.
The moon's there.
Yeah, exactly.
And this thing is just...
And it looks circular.
It looks hollow in the middle.
All I know is it's not...
Because you know when you take a picture of the light...
I wasn't excited till he zoomed in. When he zoomed in, I'm like, oh, okay. And the reason why is because of when you're looking at it zoomed in, you see this crescent moon image, okay, with a dark shadow behind it. All right, that gives us some clues about what this could be. That's telling us that it is close enough in our atmosphere that we're able to see the dark side of it, from the opposite of the front that's being lit up by the sunset. So just like the moon, which is off to the right, we see the side that is lit up by the sun, and we can also see the dark side with a slight outline of the shape of the moon. So like the moon, this object has that ability to have that effect. So that's saying it's not a star. Okay, so we can eliminate that because it's not far off enough, because it would just be all bright white light. Okay, now the other possibilities, someone would say, of course, it's a UFO. Very possible, because it's close enough to where we can see behind it, right? So there's that. I'm going to say it's between a UFO or a very close, small, maybe an asteroid or a planet, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Now, what's cool is I hear that Blake, he has got testimony actually from one of the witnesses just now. So let's go see what he has to say. I'm interested. Let's check it out.
That's right, Doc. Joseph Higgins just reached out to me moments ago. I have his testimony. It's incredible how fast we roll it out and we get the information from the people who shot it. Joseph, what do you got to say about this UFO encounter you had on the side of a UK road?
The experience I have with UFOs have been mind-boggling. I'm not a person to do lots of big edits on videos, and I don't know how to do that stuff. So the videos I've got is very genuine and very confusing, like the lights I've seen, and I've seen UFOs lots of times, many times in the sky, stuff that I can't explain, lights that move in a slow way, and it just defeats science itself. And I've seen stuff in the sky and I've recorded, then the next day it's just not there on my phone, but that when I was recording at that time, it was there, and it was like triangle shaped, but the stuff I've seen is just unbelievable.
The testimony comes in from around the world from real eyewitnesses that experience extraordinary things. And speaking of extraordinary, we have Michael Schratt with us with another incredible UFO case files. The historian in aerospace. Michael Schratt, what do you got for us?
Blake, it's good to be with you today. Our next case, and I've got the reference works right here, comes from 1960, and this came from the Gray Barker collection in Clarksburg, West Virginia. References May-June 1969 UFO analysis report. This is the original sketch that came with the report. And here we go. It's 1960. They didn't give an exact date. The time frame is 7:30 p.m. No month given. Mrs. Maxine Hayes and Mrs. Barbara Lewis, they're driving from Stigler, Oklahoma, and they notice some lights approaching their vehicle. Next thing they know, and this is borne out by another report here, this is the Canadian report. They also discuss this as well. Volume 2, number 6, 1973. Next thing they know, a 20-foot diameter disc-shaped craft is hovering over their vehicle about 20 feet. It had a series of revolving lights around the outer circumference of the craft. But then what's interesting, the report states that it started lifting their vehicle about 18 inches off the ground.
No.
The primary eyewitness, she noticed that the speedometer on the car was reading 110 miles an hour. Now, this is identical, essentially, to what we see in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So you wonder, what did Stephen know? 30 seconds later, this thing drops itself back onto the ground, and she could see that this craft departed near a coal mine and disappeared from the scene.
Leave me alone! No.
We've done a full color rendering of what this craft actually looks like. This is another illustration by Tom Bogan. So you can see the car being lifted off the ground by about 18 inches. So this is another example of a CE2 case where we have physical effects associated with the UFO sighting. And we'll look forward to see you on the next sighting. Thank you.
Incredible testimony from eyewitnesses. Michael, you keep up the good work. We're looking forward to more insight from your UFO case files. It's a big, vast archive, and we want to thank everybody who's joined us tonight in the premiere and the panel that helped us out, reporting the news as it comes in. That's our goal right here at Third Phase of Moon. Make sure you hit that subscription button, that notification bell, to be notified when we do these updates and sometimes live reports. You never know when it's going to go down. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies. We're not alone. We'll see you real soon.
Third.